Nestled in the rolling Lincolnshire countryside lies Bradley Woods, a serene and picturesque haven that belies its dark and chilling secrets. For centuries, locals have whispered about the ghostly presence that haunts this forest, the Black Lady of Bradley Woods. Her story, steeped in heartbreak and tragedy, has transformed this quiet woodland into one of the most infamous paranormal hotspots in the UK. Tonight, we venture deep into the shadowy heart of Bradley Woods to uncover the terrifying legend of the Black Lady and the eerie encounters that continue to send shivers down the spines of those who dare to tread these haunted paths. The tale of the Black Lady begins during one of the bloodiest periods in British history, the War of the Roses. This brutal conflict between the houses of York and Lancaster ravaged the land, leaving destruction and despair in its wake. Bradley Woods, with its dense foliage and secluded paths, became a hiding place for villagers fleeing the chaos. Among them was a young mother who lived in a cottage on the edge of the woods with her infant son. Her husband, a woodsman by trade, had left to join the conflict, promising to return to his family once the war was over. Each day, the woman waited by the door, clutching her child tightly in hopes of his safe return. But he never came back. As the war raged on, her grief grew. One fateful morning, as she stepped outside her cottage, the woman was set upon by 3 horsemen. With brutal force, they attacked her, violating her and leaving her broken and humiliated. Without a word, they snatched her baby boy from her arms and rode off, their cruel laughter echoing through the trees as they disappeared into the woods. Heartbroken and now completely alone, the young mother wandered the woods, searching in vain for her child and husband. Her cries, full of despair, echoed through the dense forest, but neither her husband nor her baby would ever return. She died in those woods, her spirit forever bound to the forest by the anguish of her unbearable loss. The Black Lady of Bradley Woods is described as a tall, slender woman dressed in a flowing black cloak. Her face is pale and gaunt, framed by long, dark hair that seems to shift unnaturally in the wind. Witnesses often report that her eyes are her most haunting feature, hollow, filled with despair, and capable of freezing anyone who meets her gaze. When those unlucky enough to encounter her describe her presence, they say it feels like the very air grows thick and oppressive, as if the woods themselves are holding their breath. She is said to appear suddenly, emerging from the shadows without a sound, her form dissolving into the mist as if she's never truly been there at all. The chill that follows her presence is bone deep, a cold that clings to you long after she has vanished. Many who encounter her speak of an overwhelming sense of sorrow, as if her grief momentarily merges with their own, sinking into their souls, leaving a hollow ache that lingers long after they have left the woods. Over the centuries, countless sightings of the Black Lady have been reported. Walkers have described seeing her standing silently among the trees, her figure barely distinguishable from the darkness. Some have dared to follow her, hoping to learn more about her tragic story, only to find themselves lost within the woods, disoriented and alone. Others claim to have heard her wailing, a mournful cry that rises and falls with the wind, like a banshee's wail, chilling to the core. But perhaps the most chilling accounts come from drivers passing through Bradley Woods at night. Several motorists have reported a terrifying phenomenon, the sudden sensation of something striking their car. They describe hearing a loud thud, as if they've hit a person or an animal. Yet when they stop and get out to investigate, they find nothing but the oppressive silence of the woods. Some believe these incidents are the Black Lady's way of trying to stop them, a desperate attempt to make her presence known, a plea to those who dare disturb her restless domain. One particularly spine-chilling aspect of the Black Lady legend is its connection to New Year's Eve. Local folklore claims that she is most likely to appear on this night, her sorrow intensified as she searches for her family in the cold, lonely hours of the new year. As the year draws to a close, it is said that her grief becomes unbearable as she relives the tragedy of that fateful night over and over again. Some villagers once believed that encountering her on New Year's Eve was an omen of great misfortune. Even today, few dare to venture into Bradley Woods as the clock strikes midnight, fearing they might come face to face with her spectral form. And for those who have ventured into the woods that night, the stories speak of shadowy figures darting just out of sight, whispers in the wind, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched. To truly grasp the terror of the Black Lady, one must delve into the psychology of her legend. Ghost stories often reflect the fears and anxieties of the time, and the Black Lady's tale is no exception. The War of the Roses left an indelible mark on the region, its violence and uncertainty giving rise to stories of restless spirits. The Black Lady embodies the anguish of loss and the yearning for closure, themes that resonate deeply with anyone who has experienced grief. Perhaps this is why her story endures, passed down through generations, each retelling adding another layer to her mystique. But the haunting question remains: why does she linger in the woods, never finding peace? Could her soul be tied to the earth by the rage and sorrow of her untimely death? Or is there something darker at work in Bradley Woods, something that feeds on her despair? In recent years, paranormal investigators and thrill seekers have flocked to Bradley Woods, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Black Lady. Some have claimed success, sharing blurry photographs and chilling audio recordings as evidence of her presence. Others report strange occurrences, batteries draining inexplicably, equipment malfunctioning, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. One investigator recounted that their flashlight flickered violently as they ventured deeper into the woods, the beam cutting through the trees, only to reveal a shadowy figure standing just ahead of them, faint like a mirage, but unmistakable. The investigator froze, unsure whether it was the Black Lady or simply their own mind playing tricks in the darkness. But the sensation of a cold hand brushing against their neck as they turned was all too real. While skeptics dismiss these experiences as the power of suggestion, those who have stood in the woods at night know the feeling is all too real. The Black Lady of Bradley Woods is more than just a ghost story. She is a symbol of the human capacity for sorrow and the way tragedy can leave an indelible mark on a place. Her legend reminds us that history is not just a series of dates and events, but a tapestry of human experiences, some of which refuse to fade into the past. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying the eerie atmosphere of Bradley Woods and the sense that within its shadows, something lingers, watching, waiting, and mourning. So, the next time you find yourself near Bradley Woods, take a moment to pause and listen. The rustle of leaves, the whisper of the wind, and the faintest trace of a mournful cry might just be the Black Lady still searching for what she has lost. And if you're brave enough to enter the woods after dark, tread carefully. For in the heart of Bradley Woods, history and legend intertwine, creating a place where the past is never truly gone and the shadows hold secrets that may never be fully uncovered. Beware the silence, for it is in that silence that the Black Lady's mournful wail might just be the last thing you hear.